Call to order, Education Committee. I am going to ask Counselor Callison to perform the invocation.
Our most kind and gracious and righteous Heavenly Father, we thank you, dear God, for this opportunity and privilege to call upon your name in prayer. We thank you, dear God, for giving us all a safe journey here today, dear God, and we pray. Amen.
Amen. Widow Counselor. At this time, Shelley, would you please perform the roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Condessa Teehee.
Ani.
Danny Callison. Here. Sasha Black Fox Qualls. Here. Julia Coates. Here. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins. Here. Kevin Easley. Here. Lisa Hall. Here. Johnny Kidwell. Here. Daryl Legg. Here. Dora Petzkowski. Here. Cody Poindexter. Joshua Sam. Here. Mike Shambaugh. Here. Melvina Shotpouch. E.O. Smith. Here. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Shelley. At this time, the floor is open for a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? All right, the motion passes. And we will now begin with our reports. For vocational programs, Talking Leaves Job Corps and Career Services, we have Ms. Diane Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's always an honor and a privilege to come before you. You've seen our monthly report that we submit. We try to spotlight one of our programs and one of our participants every month, and this is one of our full-blood participants who was hired in our Cherokee Language Department. We started working with a lot of our schools, a lot of our businesses, a lot of our in-house programs to try to get some of our people picked up, because when ARPA hit, we got to leave those people on there for a long period of time, and they got not just 3 months or 6 months to try them out to see if they were going to work out. And some of them said, well, we can't do if you take them away, so we've got to find a way to keep them. So they are doing a really good job, the counselors are. They've been going to some of these school board meetings and getting some of our participants picked up in the schools. So I'm just very proud of the counseling staff and what they do. Last week was Counselor Appreciation Day, and Deborah and I hosted lunches for the counselors over at the Job Corps last week to let them know how much we appreciated them. And then at the same time, we were able to do a program for them at the Job Corps Center and tell them about our student enrollment and what our kids were doing over there. And a lot of our staff decided they wanted to go on tours. So we took tours, and as a result of it, some of the counseling staff wanted to do some part-time work, maybe work on the weekends in the dorms with the kids. So it was kind of a win-win for us and for the Job Corps for them to come over last week. So we just appreciate all the things that the counselors do. I want to introduce 3 of our management team members, and the reason I want to introduce them to you is because I get calls from some of you all, and you're asking, is George Roach not doing this, or is he doing this, or is so-and-so doing this? And I had to talk with a couple of the counselors a few weeks back about who was doing what. So I'd like for Deborah Lack to stand up. You all have had Deborah come before you before. Deborah has been our finance director for Career Services for over 15 years. And she followed me when I was in several other capacities, and she worked at Job Corps. But she had to go and learn how to run the Job Corps Center when she was working for Carl Hussman. And she and I both had to go through some training with Department of Labor to run that center. And when we had to make some very serious decisions back around the first part of November, when Department of Labor came to the center, I told the chief, I said, there's only one person I can send over there right now, and it's a Band-Aid effect, and that's Deborah Lack. So she went over there the first part of November. We had a lot of work to do. Department of Labor asked us to get some things done. They gave us some timelines, and we accomplished that, even with her going to Washington, D.C. for 1 week that was mandatory. So we got a lot of things done, and as a result of it, we were notified by the Department of Labor that we will have a contract for 5 more years, and we still have to do our RFP, which is coming up, but we got the contract. So I just wanted to share that with you because there's been a lot of hard work done, and Deborah is still over there, and she'll be over there for probably maybe another month or 2, and if she wants to stay, we'll talk to the Department of Labor about her staying over there. She's indicated that she's interested in it, And I've got somebody to replace her over here, so I just wanted to share that with you. So if you have any questions about Job Corps, Deborah Lack is the interim center director over there right now. And Job Corps is a contract through the United States Department of Labor. It's not a grant, and they provide oversight. So a lot of the decisions that are made over there have to come through the United States Department of Labor out of the Dallas Regional Office. So a lot of times if you call us and ask us specific things, we can answer your questions. But there are certain things that we have to get concurrence and approval through them because we're on what they call a fixed contract, which means this is what you have to live with within your means for the next 5 years. Now, you can go over 1 year, but you're going to make up for it the next year. So when you're on a fixed like that, you have to actually go back to the Department of Labor if you have an emergency, like we just had with the temperatures dropping and going down for about 5 or 6 days. They had to make a decision. They have to contact Washington, D.C. Then they tell us you can send the kids home, and they will pay for it. Because if they didn't do that, we'd have to pay for that. So I'm just sharing that with you because I think I had some conversations with some of you all about that. Are there any questions about it? Deborah, do you have anything you want to say?
Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Deborah. I'd like to introduce Lindsay Williams. Lindsay has been here a number of years, and she has been Deborah's backup. She's also been over the TANF finances, and Deborah had to be out back 2 years ago for a period of few months, and Lindsay stepped up there. And so when we had to make the decision for Deborah to go to Job Corps, then Lindsay stepped up, and she's assuming the role for finances for career services. So she's working with all of my directors, and she's doing a good job, just like Deborah is. I can't say enough about both these two ladies, but I just wanted you to know who was there. So from time to time, I may have Stephanie or Hunter or Brenda in here to give my report if I'm not here. Well, Lindsay could be asked to do that, so just wanted to share that with you. The other person I want to introduce, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Good afternoon, everyone.
The next person I want to introduce is Kim Childers. And Kim hasn't been with us quite as long as Deborah and Lindsay. She's across the street at the Career Development Center. You're asking probably, what is career development? That's our GED program, our testing program, and it's also career development. They actually work with all of our clients. In fact, Kim was meeting with the directors this morning, and going forward with all of our clients, we're going to ask them to come in and do career development. If they're very sincere about going to work for us, or if they're sincere about going into vocational programs and we have the time before that time starts, then we're going to ask them to go through our career development. It will help them in the long run to see how sincere they are about being on one of our programs. I was recently at the hospital and visiting with Julie Skinner in the MAT program. And one of the things that they do, which I think is good, if we have clients that need to be in behavioral health or they need to be in therapy, the MAT program is a good way. We can actually send them to the MAT program. The MAT program works with them to see how sincere are they about being rehabilitated or to get the therapy. So we can make those referrals up there to the MAT program, and they're in these meetings to determine that. And once they determine that, then it goes over here to Julie, and they can actually go into therapy. And we're actually going to get ready to do some training for all of my counselors as well as the recovery program. So we're working very closely with Julie and her team on a lot of the clients that we see through our programs. So I just wanted to share that with you because we do network so that we have a seamless, a profile for these clients so that we're working with health, we may be working with human services, or we could be working with housing. And we try to do that with all of our clients so that we can get the best services for them, so that when we finish with them, that maybe they won't be back on our doorstep, but they'll be out there actually making a living and doing really well for themselves. So I just wanted to share that with you. But Kim is over the Testing Learning Center, and she's working very closely with our counseling staff. And when we were doing this rehaul of our Job Corps, she's got people that are coming over to do tutoring for the students after they get out of the class. We have these tutorial rooms over in the dorms, and she went in and remodeled all the tutorial rooms, and they really look nice. The kids are very pleased with the work that was done from the staff over here that went over there to help. So, Kim, why don't you stand up? Do you have anything you want to say?
Good afternoon.
I thought maybe one of them would say Happy Valentine's Day to you, or go Kansas City Chiefs. But anyway, these are 3 of our management team members, and I just wanted you to know who they were and where they were at. Any questions?
Wonderful. Do we have any questions for Ms. Kelly? All right, Speaker Shambler.
It's not a question, but it is a comment. The chili that you set up for January was really good, and we just want to thank you.
Well, I will have to say that I have to compliment Steve Jones and our culinary students who worked on getting that for you. And anytime you need us to do something, just let us know. We're more than happy to do it. Right, Deborah?
Thank you.
Excellent. All right, Counselor Callison.
Yes, Diane, and I would like to thank, I had a wonderful lunch with your staff, got to meet some folks that I don't usually get to meet at the Mid-America Industrial District the other day for the Pryor Chamber of Commerce, and Mr. Dave Stewart's State of the District's address there, but thank you very much for the invite, and you have good people. You have
Thank
good people that was there. Thank you.
Thank you, and I know that they appreciate you as well up in that area. Thank you so much. Do y'all have any questions about our report? I do have one thing I want to share with you that I think it's very exciting, and it's Job Corps related. The Dallas Regional Office contacted us and said that the Disney Corporation has a bunch of jobs that are open for culinary in their showboats or whatever in different states, and so they wanted to interview some of our culinary students. So the Dallas region, which is in the central part of the United States, and the Atlanta region went together. The Disney Corporation went to the New Orleans Job Corps Center, and we were instructed to bring 2 to 3 of our top students that are getting ready to graduate. So thank you, Mark Vance, for allowing us to use your new bus, and Guthrie, Tulsa, and us went down to New Orleans, and we came back. We had 7 or 8 students that went down there, and just about all of them, with the exception of 2, were notified that they all had jobs. And what they'll do is they'll go to Orlando, Florida, and get advanced culinary working in the Disney Corporation, and from there, they'll put them on one of their ships, or they will have them working down there at the Disney. And the young man that was selected from our group is a young man by the name of Tanner Dickerson. And I got to meet Tanner at our meeting last week. He is definitely a leader. He is a take-charge young man, and he's very excited. So I can see why they picked him. But I just wanted to share that with you because there is some good things going on over there. And Disney is so excited about the people that they interviewed. They're coming back in September, and they're telling us to get ready because they want to interview some more students. So we've got our work cut out for us. So
Wow.
Disney Corporation, that's good.
Well, that is just phenomenal news, Ms. Kelly, and I do want to welcome Deborah Lack as, interim center director for Job Corps. I know that, she's leaving behind big shoes to fill, and I happen to know Lindsay Williams. She and I actually went to the University of Oklahoma together as undergrads, just a short time ago, but So I know Lindsay to be a person of high integrity and character, and a tenacious athlete as well.
Yes.
But,
And a good powwow dancer.
Oh, absolutely. And so, and then finally with Ms. Childers there at the Career Development Center. I think we know that the state of education in Oklahoma is challenging. And it's not just challenging for our educators, it's also challenging for a number of our students, specifically our indigenous students. So the fact that we have a dropout rate at all means that we have Cherokee citizens who are in need of achieving their GED. So it's wonderful that Career Services is there with programming through the Career Development Center to assist those students in achieving their GEDs, because that is a hand up out of poverty. It's really difficult to get a good paying job without having a high school diploma. So having that equivalent certificate is extremely important. So I thank you for the work that you guys are doing there at Career Services. And the news about Disney is just absolutely thrilling.
Thank you.
The fact that we have 5 of 7 students hired who were interviewed speaks volumes about the culinary program through Job Corps.
Well, we
And-
work closely with Tulsa and Guthrie. We have our own state coalition, and when we got down there, our bus said Oklahoma Job Corps. So we're very proud of
Fantastic.
that.
That is absolutely fantastic. So I'd like to offer a round of applause for you and your staff here.
Can I plug Kim? Kim
Oh,
tells me
yeah.
that you all will have invitations for a GED graduation this year. We haven't had one because of the pandemic, and this year, she assures me that we're going to have one. Correct, Kim?
Absolutely, and our goal is 100 graduates.
Wow, that is
So-
fantastic.
Thank you.
I know it's easy to sometimes have an achievement like that lost in the shuffle. And so making special time for a celebration of such a phenomenal achievement is really important. So we look forward to that, and hopefully you'll be able to share that invitation with Gail Miller so she can share it with the rest of the council.
We will do that. Thank
All
you so
right, well,
much.
thank you for your time this afternoon. All right, and I believe next we are going to hear from Executive Director Mark Vance with Education Services.
Good afternoon. You know, that Disney trip or the interviews, you know, all that means is they're going to borrow my bus again because they're going to have to go back. Yeah, you're right. But anything we can do to help students involved, we love to help students. Good afternoon, by the way. I have a few notes, highlights, if you will. You have my report. College Resource Department held a college fair at Roland the other day, and we had over 200 students involved. It was
Wow.
great atmosphere. Hope you guys went by there. I know Deputy Chief went by. Our Stowe and Honor Cord application will be on the Gadugi portal March 5th. That's for high school graduates and college graduates, March 5th. Education Department will host a tribal consultation for superintendents at the Shota House on February 22nd from 8 to 1 p.m. Public School Appreciation Day, March 26th at the Hard Rock. That's our next big event for you guys, March 26th at the Hard Rock, Public Appreciation Day. The Trail of Tears Awards for Excellence, grades 8 through 12, goes online. March 1st is the deadline. Lisa Trice Turtle. And I'll send this out to you after I get back to the office. So you do have a report if you got any questions.
All right, that sounds great. And you mentioned that you would share those dates with Gail Miller for us
Yeah,
so she can
absolutely.
distribute. Fantastic. All right, and Counselor Callison?
Mr. Vance, it's not a question. I just want to thank you for always stepping up and helping out. And we had an incident where, thank you very much. I appreciate you and your staff and for always helping us. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Councilman.
All right, and I saw that on the report that you have several applications that are processing now.
Yes.
So I assume those are the renewal applications for the spring?
Yes,
Okay, awesome. So, and the new applications are going to open later in March?
you're right.
Okay, good deal. All right, and Counselor Dobbins?
Sure. Well, Mark, I know on our report it says you're the executive director. Are you also athletic director?
Yes,
Okay. How many coaches do we have?
16?
16? Can you kind of describe the hiring process?
Just like any other hiring process.
Give us, what's an example of any other process?
I don't feel comfortable talking about
Well,
personnel.
let me go ahead and interrupt here because I think that this is probably an HR question.
Yes.
With Samantha Hendricks as opposed to, because to my understanding, all hiring through Sequoia High School is run through our Human Resources Department. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So you don't have any input on hiring decisions?
Yes.
Coaches?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Do our coaches, do they have to be native?
most qualified.
Well, again, this is a HR policy issue that you're asking about, and I believe the HR policy here, which, you know, this would really be something that would more, I think appropriately be directed to Samantha Hendricks. I believe that we do have Cherokee preference
Correct.
here within all hiring positions for Cherokee Nation. So I think that if we have specific questions about hiring or specific questions about personnel, those may better be handled off camera.
Thank you.
Okay. What about students then? We'll move on to students. Do students have to be native to go to Sequoia High School?
It depends on the situation.
Okay. Cite one or two examples where they do
If
not have to
there's-
be native.
If their parents work at Sequoia, they can come to school there.
Okay. So that's basically about it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll just reserve my other questions for HR then.
Okay,
Madam Chair, because I
Yeah.
do have some other concerns and questions that are extremely relevant. And so I'll just wait and address those in HR.
all right, I appreciate it. Thank you. Do we have any other questions for Executive Director Vance? Okay, seeing no other questions, I appreciate it. I am looking forward to the remainder of our education services events, and we have a couple of big ones that are coming up. You mentioned Public School Appreciation Day, which will be taking place next month, and that's always a great event. I know it's handing out lots of checks to our
That's right.
local schools.
Very exciting time for our schools.
Oh, absolutely. And my understanding, okay, yeah. So looking forward to that. And if there are no other questions, then you are released.
Well, happy Valentine's Day.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, and next on the agenda, I believe we have Ms. Verna Thompson with our early childhood unit.
That you might have other than my written report.
All right. Do we have any questions for Ms. Thompson?
I have a couple of things. I just
Okay.
got out of a meeting for Kenwood site. We're so excited, it's almost finished. It's just around the bend, like within weeks, literally weeks away. So we're looking at furniture, and to say we're excited is an understatement. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. We went there a couple of weeks ago, state of the art, everything. They've just done such a wonderful job, and it just reeks early childhood in there. The floors are heated for the babies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's just one example. But on another note, we've been invited to submit documentation or testimonials, if you will, so to former Head Start graduates. If you want to submit to the National Head Start Association what Valentine's Day means to you, and then they're calling it your Head Start Love Stories. And I've received a few from the program staff, and they are so heartwarming. It makes you really pleased and proud to work with a group of folks that are meeting their calling, because some of them wrote that they knew at a young age that they wanted to work and make a difference in somebody's life, and they feel like they do it every day in Head Start. So they are meeting their calling. It's not just a job.
Wow, wonderful.
So that's, any other questions or anything?
Do we have any questions for Ms. Thompson? And I know I'm a Head Start baby. I don't know if there's anyone else on council who's also a Head Start baby. Okay, so my esteemed colleague from District 1 is also a Head Start baby. So we are welcome to submit.
Yeah, you go to the website, NHSA, National Head Start Association.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, we'll be sure to do that. And I appreciate your time today, and I appreciate all the work you're doing, giving our babies a head start out there.
And I'll pass that on to our staff.
Thank you. Oh, wait, I do have one question before you leave. You've been updating us on the status of your perfect attendee.
She's still on a roll. She's just amazing us every month. We get a list submitted on all the perfect attendance, no tardies, and she's the first one I look for, and she is still on there. Among many others. I don't want to just pinpoint her, but she does
Right.
hold the record. There's others that are unbelievable, too, on any scale, 14 months, 16 months. So that's amazing, too.
So she's
Thank
kinda
you
like
for asking about her.
She's like the Cal Ripken of
Yeah.
our early childhood.
Yeah, and best attitude.
All right. Well, I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you very much, Ms. Thompson. And next, for Sequoia High School, we are going to have Principal Justin Brown with us.
Good afternoon. It's a privilege to be here and speak with you all. And I know you guys have a report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. But before I get to the questions, I do want to talk about BIE review we had. We just finished that. I think every 3 years they have to come through, and they go through everything from transportation to curriculum to finances to everything. And we passed with flying colors. They had very, very few, just minimal recommendations, tons of commendations. They use the term elite in terms of BIU schools, and so our staff and our group were really proud of the way things are going, and really excited about what the things they had to say. And so just wanted to brag on them a little bit, but also brag on you all for all the support that you've given us, because without that, it may be different. So thank you. And to the report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Sure, all right. Do we have any questions for Principal Brown? Okay, I don't see any questions, but I do have to remark on the report that was submitted. There are a number of really wonderful pieces of curriculum that are and I just think it's really remarkable that, Sequoia High School, it is a Cherokee Nation school. It is our school. And the way in which a lot of our instructors and our faculty there at Sequoia High School incorporate indigenous heritage and indigenous culture into the classroom on a weekend, a day in, day out basis. It's just really thrilling to see that evidenced in the report. And I just know the level of support that it provides for our kids. There's a lot of research out there that shows that when an indigenous child is supported in their culture and heritage, that they tend to do more successfully in an educational environment. So if you wouldn't mind passing that.
Absolutely.
Passing that on to your faculty, I would really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, and you're released. Okay, so I believe that concludes our reports. And I am looking now, we have no old business pending. We have no new business pending. Do we have any announcements related to education? Okay, seeing no announcements, our next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, March 11th at 3 p.m. So the floor is now open for a motion for adjournment. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? All right, that concludes our meeting.